So here's where we are now. I put the clear on it, made a few repairs here and there, added, remember our old friend, the white piece from an earlier bad decision, added something up here to cover up some of the problems with the edges. The next thing I'm going to do, I'm thinking about, instead of just dumping all those Lego parts into that hole, making a piece of plexiglass and fit down in there so that the parts of the Legos look like they're floating on a rolling wave inside there. So, creative decisions are going on as the piece develops. Okay, I've cut myself a piece of plexiglass and angled it so it's in here, filled it up with these Legos just to see what this is going to look like. And I think probably won't gain much by making a curvature in it, although I might still do that. I'm trying to save myself a few Legos by not having to fill this entire thing up with them. You can't tell, it'll look like it's filled up with them, but they're sitting on top of that piece of plexiglass. This is my sheet of polypropylene that I'm going to cast this on, but before I do it, I'm going to prepare it with this, which is treadmill lubricant, which is 100% silicone oil. So just spritz a little of it out here and wipe it around with a paper towel. And that way the resin will peel right off of there, I've found. Okay, so I've mixed up my resin in this bucket, and I'm going to dump my Legos into it and put on my rubber gloves and dive in there, mix it all up, and pour it out onto the piece of plexiglass that I've cut to fit inside there. And then we'll see what happens from there. Okay, so there's a mess of Legos, and they're on that piece of plexiglass that roughly fits into the size of that opening, but when I peel it up off of here, I'm going to run it through the bandsaw and cut those edges so that I have some nice square edges that'll drop down in there. Okay, 24 hours later, this is dried, and look at this. It lifts right off of that surface that I sprayed the silicone oil on. Now my dilemma is, which side do I use? Here's the side with all the pieces flattened into it. The intent was, of course, to use this side, which is probably what I'm going to do, but I'm going to have to run these edges through the bandsaw to get it back to the size of the original piece there, but I don't know. That is awfully cool. And I thought about running the blowtorch along here and bending it to get a hump in it. But a couple things. I think it'll be okay flat, just at a slope. I mean, the possibility of popping those pieces off of the plexiglass. So we'll see. Okay, I've cut this to size, and you can see that it slopes down, and I'm going to have to fill in something at the bottom there. But the next creative dilemma is this too much color? So what I'm thinking about doing, and you're probably making your own decisions if you're looking at this. No, leave it alone. But I think I might spray paint over all this stuff with either white to push back the brilliance of the color, because what I want is the color on the outside to be brighter, more intense than the colors on the inside. I don't know, it's risky. Before I start working on the parts that go inside here. I've got to figure out how I'm going to hang this heavy mother. And so I think what I'm going to do, this is the piece of plexiglass on the back that's polyestered to the interior frame. The rest of this has paint on it, and paint could give way. So I've sanded this surface down to make it grippier. And being a cyclist, I have lots of bicycle brake cable and shifter cable around. So I'm going to sacrifice one of these because this is a good heavy cable that can't break. And I make these brackets by sawing a groove into a piece of 1/4 inch plexiglass. So I'm going to put the cable inside there like that, and fiberglass that down so that it's pretty firm. And I might even come back and put a cable clip on the end of this and crimp it so that it can't go anywhere. Wouldn't want it slipping out of there for sure. I've had good luck with fiberglass resining these hangers on in the past, but given the weight of this thing, I felt a little better about putting 2 little bolts in there. So I drilled 2 holes, and the cable isn't going anywhere. It's good bicycle brake cable, so that'll hold it. Okay, we are finally finished with this baby. So here it is. And about decisions, I'm going to hang it on the wall and live with it for a while before I decide whether I want to push those colors in the middle back. It would be hard to do. It looks pretty good as it is, I think. So there is a piece of art done with resin, pretty much start to finish. You didn't see me build, but there you go.